Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Sablier Grand Cru. This watch is quite cool. It looks a little bit simple, but I'm going to show you some interesting features that I think you're going to appreciate. This watch has taken years to make, like most watches do. I think people that want to make a watch or want to begin a watch company can easily underestimate the amount of time and effort required, as well as some of the logistical complications involved in coming out with a watch. And the guy that created Sablier knows about that firsthand. And what makes this watch unique is that it is, well, at least part of it is protected by a patent, and that is the concave crystal. And so a lot of watches have flat crystals. Some of them have domed crystals. Some of them have double dome crystals. This one has a concave crystal, so it's shaped like a bowl. And actually the entire watch itself, given the fact that it is also shaped a bit like a bowl, it's kind of wider towards the bottom. It's very similar to the Louis Vuitton tambour case, actually. And then it goes on with that sort of domed crystal. I kind of want to say it looks like a pet's water dish or something like that, but I don't think that would translate into a particularly high-end theme for a luxury watch. So this watch, all the watches of the brand feature these. Now, why have this crystal which is concave? Well, it definitely helps with reading it from angles. So if you can see, it's at a very sharp angle like that. Normally you wouldn't even be able to read the time, but because of the design of the crystal there, you can read the time. I'm not exactly sure what the patent is. I think it has to do with having a concave crystal in a wristwatch for the dial. And if you look at the dial itself, the dial of course is also going to be concave, and I think the hands are bent up a little bit, but it's difficult to tell. It's difficult to tell. So this version of the watch has a little bit of a sort of modern, avant-garde yet simple dial. I happen to like these kinds of dials. These speak to me, and you know, there's some playful elements like the sort of zigzag pattern at the end of the seconds hand there, and these square hands. I happen to like that. I like that he didn't just make another kind of simple watch. There actually are more, I would say, conservative versions with, I think, Roman numerals and things like that, but this happens to be one that speaks to me a lot. What I would probably do is, actually the strap is fine. It's kind of this faux alligator pattern here. I would probably put it on like a different color strap, like a red strap or something like that, that would really emphasize, I think, some of the designery, kind of more interesting nature of this watch. I think that in this execution, it's a little bit conservative, but I think a lot of people like that. Let's put it on the wrist there, and you can see this size is 44 millimeters wide, and I believe all their watches are 44 millimeters wide in steel. So let's take a look at the Sablier Grand Cru. I think it looks nice. Originally, I believe they wanted to make it smaller, but they settled on 44 millimeters, which for me isn't a problem at all. I love 44 millimeter watches, so this is great. And it sits a little bit tall. I really enjoy the completely polished steel case. I think that adds sort of a nice high-end look to it. Legibility is very, very good. You can disagree on the styling of the dial, that's fine, but you gotta admit this is a very, very legible watch. And again, you have the date there. Let's take a look at the back you have here. And again, it's funny to see these because it's a Swiss move, and I believe it's a 2824. Maybe a Solide, I'm not so sure. And this one has the what they call the gold look as opposed to the steel look there. So that's a nice little design there. I like those. Those are slightly harder to find the movements in that tone. It's the same movement. It's not gold or anything like that. It's just the finishing. It might be just that the brass. It might just be unfinished brass. I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes they will finish the brass and then recolor it. They have all these special ways of doing it to make sure that the metal lasts. And so what I was laughing about is the fact that you can see that the movement is much smaller than the diameter of the entire watch itself. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's interesting. I'm waiting for movements to get bigger because there's not a lot of large diameter automatics that you can buy. But I'm glad that these things are durable enough to take larger hands there. Sablier is a USA-based brand, and I'm not just saying that because I am reminded by the fact that it says USA on the back, though that did help, actually. And that's nice. I appreciate getting watches that are designed and by people in the United States and help them live out their dreams. One of the cool, there's some other little designs here. Like, so you look here at the crown, and it's also concave a little bit to sort of mimic, you know, the dial, how it's concave. Those are nice little touches. Also, I believe that each of the pieces, just by virtue of the fact that this is a smaller brand, is limited to, I think, 250 pieces. I don't know if that's a total collection or per a dial or per a version like that. So right now there's not a lot of these out there. At the time of doing the video, I'm sorry, but I don't have the price exactly, and I don't want to guess because I could be drastically off. So if you'll forgive me, we don't have the price right now. I will put it on as a note, and when you read the full review on aBlogtoWatch, the price of the Sablier Grand Cru will definitely be there. So look for it there soon. Thanks.